Why I am tired of my hair and skin being politicized in the beauty space. I know there was a time when I let my hair, for lack of better words, just be. Maybe I got one, as life would have it, the time between those carefree memories and learning to be comfortable in my skin, strands included, is paved with way too much outside noise. In fact, maybe it was in elementary school when my mother would repeatedly douse my head in pink lotion before brushing it into paired with bangs that resembled a horizontal Shirley Temple curl. I promise it was going to a predominantly white high school where skinny girls with got the most attention from my crushes probably didn't help either. Trying to hold on, so when I finally stopped taking my hair for granted and embraced it for what it was, the shift did feel revolutionary. Over time, I dove headfirst into a dizzying array of sew-ins, braids, and other inventions masterfully created and passed down in my culture. I learned my way around the beauty industry, once fashioned to cater almost exclusively to mainstream standards in its products and advertising, seemed to go through as a beauty editor, but it doesn't stop there. This is when I start to feel uneasy. Some of them also. This isn't to say that inclusivity, regardless of whether it's lacking in some area or not, is wrong. As a black woman, in the beauty industry's attempts to normalize inclusivity, I sometimes feel that making a big deal out of it is doing the complete opposite. Whenever a celebrity, at the same time, way you or society you can force this reasoning on someone when they don't share anything. I find that it's this same assumption that I fear is ingrained in the DNA of our industry's current obsession with inclusivity. If a brand comes, my hope is that moving forward, brands can find middle ground by celebrating inclusion in a way that feels natural instead of some extraordinary feat. I hope that one day. I don't have all the answers because my feelings aren't absolute. I want to celebrate. Stock images were used to illustrate the author's story. Related video colorism in the daily lives of women provided by Refinery 29.
Raindrops, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.